Hello everyone, welcome to A Clear Perspective. I'm Serene. On June 8th, the U.S. Senate voted 68-32 to pass the American Innovation and Competition Act of 2021, which immediately became the focus of major media coverage. What's so special about this bill? It is a massive bill of more than 1,400 pages. It is the first bipartisan bill in recent years to target the Chinese Communist Party. This bill consists of 6 major parts, namely 1. Chip and 5G Emergency Appropriations. 2. Endless Frontier Act. 3. Strategic Competition Act of 2021. 4. Securing America's Future Act. 5. Meeting the China Challenge Act of 2021 and other matters. The most significant element of the bill is the U.S. government's plan to invest more than $250 billion in U.S. technology, science, and research to remain competitive against the CCP in virtually all high-tech fields, such as 5G technologies, artificial intelligence, semiconductors, quantum computing, advanced communications, biotechnology, advanced energy, and space exploration. In addition, the bill also addresses the advancement of the Indo-Pacific strategy and the promotion of U.S. leadership in international organizations and multilateral forums. The bill also proposes countermeasures on a range of issues including human rights violations by the CCP, cyber attacks, and the Xinjiang, Tibet, Hong Kong, Taiwan, and the Confucius Institutes in the United States. In a nutshell, it is essentially an official guidebook on how the United States can engage in a new Cold War with the Chinese Communist Party. The bill only passed the Senate. It still needs to be passed by the House and signed by the President before it can take effect. However, it will not be difficult to gain broad support in the House. What is the special significance of this bill? First, the bill will significantly enhance the role of the U.S. government in scientific research. It will increase the U.S. government's support for science and technology, including the promotion of science and technology through the National Science Foundation. So, this is a national system to deal with the threat of the CCP. Second, this bill is the final product of at least 6 Senate committees involving almost all members of the Senate. It marks the beginning of an era of all-round systematic containment of the CCP from the United States. Third, this bill will significantly intensify the decoupling of Chinese and U.S. technologies. The legal risks faced by CCP high-tech companies in the U.S. will rise sharply. Fourth, this bill authorizes the U.S. President to use executive orders to impose sanctions, including export controls, trade bans, property freezes, and other forms of sanctions on any enterprise that receives subsidies from the Chinese Communist regime, whether state-owned or private. This will be a disaster for all Chinese companies that use government subsidies to dump their products at extra low prices. Fifth, this bill officially marks the beginning of a new arms race between the U.S. and China. During the Cold War arms race, the nuclear weapons were at the center of the competition. Now it's the chip-based high-tech industrial chain. The CCP condemned the bill through its Foreign Affairs Committee of the National People's Congress. It claimed, "The bill is full of Cold War mentality and ideological prejudice, slanders China's development paths and domestic and foreign policies." It demanded the U.S. Congress to immediately stop moving the bill forward. Judged by this exasperated reaction of the CCP, the U.S. Congress has hit the nail on the head this time and done a great job. On June 7th, the National Pulse reported that Shi Zhengli, the director of the Wuhan Institute of Virology, listed on her resume a 6-figure grant from Fauci's National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases. In Shi's resume, it very clearly listed a $665,000 grant from the NIAID aimed at studying the ecology of bad coronaviruses and the risk of future coronavirus emergence from 2014 to 2019. Earlier this month, the Australian reported that scientist Zhou Yusen from the Chinese military was the first to file a patent for a COVID-19 vaccine in February last year. This means that Zhou already developed a vaccine from the very beginning of the pandemic. What's even more puzzling is that 3 months after applying for the patent, Zhou died under mysterious circumstances. We all know that the CCP confirmed the existence of COVID-19 early January 2020. However, the Chinese authorities argued that there was no clear evidence of human-to-human transmission. The WHO only declared the coronavirus outbreak as a pandemic on March 11, 2020. Up until that time, the CCP was still bluffing that COVID-19 was preventable and controllable. Why did so many countries buy into the CCP's lies so easily? According to the Weekend Australian, Zhou Yusen, the CCP military scientist, filed a patent for a COVID-19 vaccine on February 24, 2020. This was just 5 weeks after COVID-19 was deemed a public health emergency of international concern by WHO. Zhou Yusen filed the patent on behalf of the Institute of Military Medicine and the Academy of Military Sciences of the P.L.A. He is listed as the lead inventor on the patent application. Zhou Yusen died inexplicably a few months later, and the CCP did not commemorate his death. It was only in July that the CCP mentioned his death, and it was only a remark in a media report. Prior to his work for the CCP, Zhou Yusen was a postdoctoral researcher at the University of Pittsburgh School of Medicine. He had also collaborated with the New York Blood Center. After he began working for the CCP, he earned many titles of distinction at the Chinese Academy of Military Medicine. He is an important figure in the virology community of the CCP. His research on coronaviruses has also received funding from Fauci. He has also worked closely with Shi Zhengli's team at the Wuhan Institute of Virology. Zhou died inexplicably in May of 2020, and the time and the causes of his death are unknown. He also did not have any unusual symptoms before his passing. According to a research paper submitted to the Journal of Virology in November 2019, Zhou Yusen and others were working on genetically manipulating the coronavirus before the outbreak. The research project received a total of 3 grants from the National Institutes of Health. The Australian newspaper said Fauci declined the interview request. Peter Navarro, a former White House Director of Trade and Manufacturing Policy, was interviewed by Newsmax on Monday. He said Fauci was behind the cover-up of the virus. Navarro said he and Fauci first met on January 28, 2020. He immediately got into a strong argument with Fauci. Navarro was for the travel ban, and President Trump sent Navarro to debate with Fauci. In the end, Navarro won the argument and implemented the travel ban, which saved hundreds of thousands of lives. Many people would be dead now if they had listened to Fauci. Now, let's discuss the CCP's research and development of biological weapons. Some say that biological weapons are the most terrifying in the hands of the wrong people, even more so than nuclear weapons. On average, getting a death rate of 50% in 1 square kilometer using conventional weapons would cost around $2,000. Nuclear weapon would cost around $800. Chemicals would cost $600, and biological weapons cost a mere $1. And how far away are these bioweapons? Probably a lot worse than we think. Back in May, while investigating the origins of the coronavirus, the U.S. Department of State discovered a 260-page document written by CCP military scientists and health officials in 2015. Chinese scientists described SARS coronaviruses as presenting a new era of genetic weapons that could be artificially modified and released in an unprecedented manner. In 2019, Dr. Xiaoguo Qiu, her husband, and an unknown member of her students from China were removed from Canada's only Level 4 lab. This was to prevent a possible case of intellectual property theft or technology leakage to China. Dr. Xiaoguo Qiu's research focused on vaccine development. Her husband has published research papers on HIV infections. In July 2020, the Times of India revealed that the Wuhan Institute of Virology entered a 3-year agreement with the Pakistan military's Defense Science and Technology Organization to expand potential biowarfare capabilities. This program is also being funded by the CCP. The CCP has been displaying an unusually high interest in biological weapons. They have also been proactive in collecting virus samples, as well as studying the infection process of viruses. The most serious and deadly human and animal diseases are kept for research in the Wuhan Institute of Virology. Bioweapon research is also most likely conducted there. Lastly, we would like to remind our viewers that our platform may be restricted on social media. We would like to recommend the YouMaker platform to everyone. Our videos are available on YouMaker. Please subscribe and we hope to see you there. That's all for today. Thank you for watching. We hope to see you next time.